Hi and Assalamualaikum. So welcome back guys. So we'll continue chapter 4 part 2. For this part, so I will focus more on the MSW, which is municipal solid waste. So in this part, you will see there's a lot of calculations and that involved in this topic, right? So mostly it will focus on the MSW, municipal solid waste, right? So what is municipal solid waste? It could be you can find it in residential area, most of it, which is food waste, rubbish, ashes, all those papers, plastic, those the one that you produce in your house is considered as municipal solid waste, right? And then it also can be produced from commercial areas such as markets, office, hotel, okay? And then also can be produced through open areas such as roadside, parks, playground, beaches, okay? And then also can be produced from a treatment plant site, such as in wastewater treatment plant. And also can be produced in industrial activity and construction areas. I have given you the sample in the previous video. Okay, so let's go to the next part. What are the properties and characteristics of solid waste? Okay, so we need to know the characteristic of solid waste in order for us to manage and treat the waste. Okay, so it is important to evaluate or to know the characteristic so that we can know what are the equipment needed, treatment system, and the management plans, whether you want to dispose it to send to quality alarm, or you can uh, you know uh, use the solid waste to produce as a resources to recovery of energy. Okay, so but in order to do this, we need to characterize your solid waste first. All right, so these are the physical compositions of solid waste. Okay, so you need to know the individual component, and then the particle size, the moisture content, and density. So this is the four major parts of the physical composition. Okay. So composition of MSW, it will reflect the influence of society, the way of life, economic status, and social behavior. Normally, if you know, if you see, if you compare our countries to Japan, so we know how good Japan in managing their waste. All right, so that's how people use this kind of method in order to compare the economic status, the social behavior, right? So Malaysia is heading towards that, but we are still have a lot of things that we need to do, especially those involved in rural areas, right? The most the hardest part of achieving this is the attitude of people in Malaysia. So you who learn this kind of solid management, you need to involve, you need to educate the people around you on how important is solid waste management, right? So if you see our landfill in Kuantan, in KL, there's like a mountain of waste. So we need to reduce that because there would be no longer area for us to dump our rubbish. Okay, so this is the component or composition of MSW in Malaysia and in US. Okay, so you can see there's some different. Okay, if you look here, you can see some different between Malaysia and US, where US is 10%. Okay, but in Malaysia it's 32%. So we produce a lot of food waste, right, in Malaysia. Okay, you also realize that, right? Okay, and then we don't have yard waste. Okay, It's not that we don't have, but we don't, we didn't classify it as a yard waste. We classify it as agricultural waste. Okay, so it falls under different part. Okay, maybe it's under wood. Okay, and then it also can be falls under organic. It depends. All right. So these are the categories that being used in Malaysia. Okay. So this is the range, actually 5 to 25% of the waste is organic or food. Okay. Typically, this is the standard range that we use. Okay. So in your calculation later on, normally we will use the typical. Okay. So it's important to categorize. Okay, your waste based on this category, whether it is organic food, yard waste, paper, plastic. Okay, so because if you look, if you read through the journal papers, okay, these categories of waste is important. Normally is being used in order to manage the landfill site. Okay, right. So, okay, general trends in composition of MSW by weight. Okay, so food waste, paper, again, food waste, paper, plastic, yard waste, other organics and inorganics. Okay, so low income will use higher food waste. High income produce less waste. Okay, so it's quite funny, but maybe this is actually statistical data, right? So, okay, so you can read this by your own. Okay, so this is the next category of how you characterize your solid waste. So the particle size. Okay, size of waste component affect the effectiveness of material recovery. So we need to know the size of your particle size of your solid waste, so that again we will know how to do how to manage the disposal. Okay, so reduction in particle size increase the rate of biological transformation. Okay, let's say for those organic waste such as food waste, if you have a smaller particle size, you also know smaller particle size, high surface area, so it easily being biological degrade. Okay, so we don't have to shred. Okay, but if we have a large particle size, that's why shredding is employed to reduce the particle size, so that it's easier to degrade or to transform the material or the waste. Okay, so the next characteristic that is important is your moisture content of the solid waste. Okay, so this is very important, especially when you wanted to digest it anaerobically. So normally anaerobically ni you wanted to produce example of process that use anaerobic digestion is by transforming your solid waste into methane. Okay, producing methane gas, right? So we don't want it to have high moisture content. Okay, so moisture content can be expressed as A minus B over A, where A is actually your initial mass of sample, and then B is mass of sample after drying. So you will get your moisture content. So normally the moisture content will be given like the one in this is composition. Later you will see the moisture content table. If you refer later in your textbook, it will be on in table 10.4 page 579. So it will give you the percentage of typical moisture for the component of your solid waste, and then you need to determine your mass of sample after drying. So this formula is important for you to use in order to characterize the moisture, how moisture your solid waste is. Okay, so this is the table that I've been talking about. So this is table 10.4. So you will see that for food waste, it has high moisture content compared to other material, other components. Okay, so 70%. If you compare, let's say glass is only 2%, rubber is only 2%, right? Okay, so you will take basically, right, this value later on for the calculation, right? Okay, so let's have a look on example in your textbook, example 10.1. Okay. Okay, so example 10.1 in your textbook. Okay. So the example wants you to calculate the moisture content. Okay. Estimate the overall moisture content for the following composition. So this is the solid waste. Okay, so it was characterized under food waste, paper, all this. Okay, so this is given. This two is given in the question. Okay, so percent by mass. Okay, so sometimes the question didn't give you how much is the sample waste, so you can assume if not given, you can assume as 100 kilogram waste. Okay, so let's say if 100 kilogram, 50% for 100 kilogram is 15 kilo. Okay, so now okay, so for this part, okay, you extract this data from table 10.4. So if you refer to table 10.4, so 70% is from the table. So you fill up this, okay, and then this is the one that you need to calculate. This part, okay, you need to calculate. So how are you going to calculate? You use the formula just now. Moisture content, okay, is actually A minus B over A. Okay, so for instance, all right, your food waste is 70%, so 0.7, okay, equals to A is 15. Okay, so 15 minus B, you don't know, this is the dry mass, okay, over 15. So you solve for B. B is actually from your book, it is 4.5. Okay, so this is 4.5. So you do this for the rest of the column. All right, and then you calculate, you total up, you sum up. Okay, sum up, it will be that 79 percent for the dry, 79 kilo for the dry mass. Okay, so later on, if the question asks you to calculate the overall, okay, calculate the, let's say I write it here, overall moisture content. Okay, so it will be initial, still you use this formula, so initial is 100 kilogram, you have 100 kilogram of waste, right? And then minus total, just now we total up the dry mass is 79, okay, over the initial, so you will get around 21% moist. Okay, so normally it will always like around 20 to 21%. Okay, so you need to, okay, I think this is easy for you, so you go and refer back example 10.1, right? Okay, so this is how again, this is how you calculate your dry weight. I've shown you earlier, right? So that is 4.5 kilo. Okay, so if you can assume, the normally we assume the waste is 100 kilogram, but sometimes you can also see some books maybe use 1000 kilogram, but it's up to you. So use assumption that easily you can implement to your calculation, right? So this is, in the end, you have 21.4%. Okay, so I will explain on the next characteristic of your MSW, which is density, in the next video, right? So I'll stop here. See you in the next video. Thank you.